Home base, Gardnerville, Nevada. On this Tesla road trip, I will travel over 3,000 miles and visit some very remote locations. If you are worried about range anxiety or have questions about how and where to charge a Tesla while traveling, or interested in Autopilot, then sit back and relax and I will answer all those questions while visiting some of America's most amazing destinations in the Southwest. Places like Zion National Park, Horseshoe Bend, Meteor Crater, the Goosenecks, Mexican Hat, Monument Valley, and much more. Let's get started. There are currently over 800 supercharging locations throughout the U.S., with many more to come. For me, this is like free gas stations wherever I travel. A short stop in Huntington Beach, California to visit my daughter and celebrate my grandson's second birthday. Now up to St. George, Utah to participate in the Huntsman Games. But first, a quick stopover in Valley of Fire State Park. This is Valley of Fire State Park, north of Las Vegas. I'm searching for a patch of road that I photographed some maybe 15 or 20 years ago. That is this beautiful wavy ribbon of road. Yeah. I had an absolutely phenomenal time participating in the Huntsman Games, and I was fortunate enough to win 2 bronze medals and a gold medal in men's singles table tennis.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
7 a.m. in the morning. I am filling up in preparation on my way up to Zion National Park. Yeah, the scenery, we're in Arizona right now, the scenery is just spectacular. Heading into Page, Arizona. Horseshoe Bend in Page, Arizona is a magnificent sight. The Colorado River artfully sculpted this mesmerizing landscape. Just outside of Page, Arizona is an easily overlooked trailhead called the Toadstools. Grab some water and hit the trail. You won't regret this one. The Toadstools are quirky little geologic formations that have a harder caprock on top, which protects the softer sandstone beneath. The toadstools range from very tiny to over 10 meters tall. Next, I travel south to Winslow, Arizona. You know Winslow, Arizona, from the Eagle song? Well, I'm standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. But in Winslow, it's not a girl that's such a fine sight, it's Meteor Crater. Meteor Crater in Arizona is breathtaking and thought-provoking. 50,000 years ago, a meteorite whose diameter was approximately the width of a football field slammed into the earth at a speed greater than 10 times faster than a rifle bullet. This created an impact crater about a mile wide and 570 feet deep. Okay, this is Tesla-style camping. Everything you're about to see fits into essentially the trunk of my car. So I have a 4-person tent, with a 6-inch thick, very plush and comfortable sleeping mattress, sleeping bag, pillow, suitcases and gear, spacious, enough food for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks actually, a nice chair, everything one would need, a little backpack for day trips. Here's a cool little device which is a 8 USB multi-charger for charging all of my devices, of which I have numerous devices. You can see that I'm plugged into the RV outlet to charge the car overnight, even though the preponderance of my charging is done through the supercharging stations, which is so much faster. Here's a couple weeks worth of clothing, camera bag with all the goodies, a ridiculous amount of additional camera equipment. Oh, and we can't forget something that every serious traveler, documenter, and photographer needs. Let's look in the front for additional storage. A couple more tripods, panning head, and of course a drone. So much fun. Best way to document the world. Just a little over an hour's drive from Meteor Crater is Petrified Forest National Park. 225 million years ago, an ancient river deposited all these logs into this location. There was considerable volcanic activity in the area, which produced a lot of silica. The silica entered the water table and soaked into these logs. They were eventually buried, and over eons of time, they turned to stone. Perhaps my favorite location on this entire trip was Monument Valley in Utah. Words fail to convey the beauty and the majesty of this landscape. You can drive through the monuments, hike, and discover many hidden gems like Teardrop Arch. We've gone about 2,100 miles, heading back home, starting today. First stop is Page, Arizona, and on to Las Vegas this evening. Had an absolutely phenomenal time at Monument Valley. If you haven't been there, go. It is breathtaking, spectacular. The Tesla has been performing just magnificently. I've actually been on the road going on 3 weeks right now, and some portion of that we're staying in hotels, and about a week and a half was actually camping. So here's an additional benefit of the Autopilot feature. I'm in full Autopilot right now, so I'm not steering or using the gas, not using the accelerator or the brake, and it's kind of tedious type of driving, and this is something that the Autopilot does exceptionally well and takes a lot of that stress and burden off of the driver. Very nice. There's been an evolution in my mind regarding the Autopilot. Before, when I would turn on Autopilot, since this was a new technology, I would take my hands off the wheel and I would let the car do its own thing. And of course, I was watching and in control and being responsible. But I have since developed a strategy where I always have my hand on the wheel. And one of the immediate advantages of that is the warning that says from the car, please place your hand on the wheel periodically, goes away. So just resting your hand on the wheel, it keeps you more attuned to what's happening, but the ease of driving, the monotony of certain aspects of driving, Autopilot takes care of brilliantly. I'm about to enter a town up ahead, and I'm going, the speed limit is 70 miles an hour. I have my speed set at 75 miles an hour. But as I enter a town, we've all noticed that the speed limit begins to decrease as we enter the town. Now, I think there's a sign coming up right now. Yes, 55 miles an hour. I'm just about to pass it. Watch, the car will immediately recognize that the new speed limit is 55, and the car is automatically slowing down. I'm not doing anything at this point. And this is going to save people from getting tickets, because we tend to not heed those. We're approaching a city and reduction in speed limit signs. So I think that's a huge advantage. I believe that we're going to see another change here to 45 miles an hour. So right now it says 55. Here's the sign coming up, and immediately, as soon as we pass that sign, I'm certain the sensors of the car are actually reading that sign, because it is at the moment. Here's the 35 mile reduction coming up. And immediately changes to 35 miles an hour. And so my speed adjusts to 5 miles over, which is what I've set it to. So here's 25. Let's see the last change here. There we go, down to 25 miles an hour. So just a brilliant evolution in ease of driving, especially now that it's 3:21 a.m. I'm making a dash for home, and I should be there in another probably 4 hours or so. That tone that you hear is the car saying that you've just exceeded the speed limit. So the speed limit was 25, and as soon as I go 26, it's going to alert me to let me know that that's the setting again that you elect to have there or not. I think it's a nice small advantage. Also, because I tend to hit the supercharging stations every between 100 or 150, 175 miles apart, it breaks my traveling into 2 to 3 hour segments, which is more than enough. I don't want to drive for hours and hours and hours at a time. So again, just a new adjustment to how we tend to drive. 2 hours, 3 hours, charge up for free, I might add, and then take a break, have a bite to eat, whatever you want to do. Stalls up ahead of me here, so let us turn in and greet our free traveling power source. And there they all are. Such a beautiful sight to see. These are pulling in forward. Nice. I like that technology. That's pretty cool. So this is the Tesla Supercharging Station at Hawthorne, California, and I'm about to power up. As I approach the car will present its handles to welcome me, because I have the key. Grab the charger, press the button, the port opens, and put the plug in, and that's it. Power is going to the car. So this is the screen that appears when you plug in your supercharging cable, and this is my dashboard here. It's showing that the miles per hour that I am putting into the car is ramping up as it's going to its full capacity. So it's now changing to 218, 221, and 226 and so forth. And depending on the state of my battery, how full or low the battery is, will depend on how many miles per hour I can put into the car. The lower the battery, the greater number of miles per hour. If the battery is nearly full, then the charging rate is much less. So here we are starting with 120 miles is my current capacity. I'm charging currently at a rate of 270 miles per hour. I've already put in 5 miles. You can see how quickly it's changing here. So we'll stop here for 15-20 minutes and get our miles up to the required amount to get to the next destination. It's that simple. I charged up to 251 miles an hour. You can see that it's on a full charge, but that'll be plenty to get me home. So navigating home is pretty simple. Navigate, and it conveniently has home right there. And you'll notice the screen is dark because it's still early in the morning. All right, we have 141 miles to my destination, 2 hours and 26 minutes, and I'll arrive at 6:55 a.m. My Tesla road trip was a wonderful experience. I traveled over 3,000 miles visiting the beauty and the grandeur of the Southwest United States. I didn't consume any oil or gas. My travels didn't add any carbon dioxide to our planet's atmosphere. I traveled for free using the Tesla Supercharging stations, and I did it all in the most elegant and fun car that I've ever driven.